Hey everyone! Today I'll be talking about how to start journaling as a habit. So I've been journaling since I was in fifth grade. I don't journal every day. I've been journaling on and off. In high school, I journaled almost every day just because, there's so many emotions when you're in high school. It's a very heightened experience, highest highs, lowest lows. So I did a lot of journaling in high school. I've mostly done digital journaling. So with digital journaling, essentially what I mean is I type out all my entries. And that worked out really well for me because my thoughts pace quite a bit. So sometimes I like to type to get the thoughts out at the same speed. However, recently I've been doing analog journaling, and I wanted to share some thoughts about analog journaling. So, analog journaling has really offered me a reprieve from all the constant digital social media and just living life online. And previous to that, I spent so much time on the screen that I was thinking, let's try something different. Let's do analog journaling. And it's a bit of a change for me because I, once again, have done digital journaling for many, many years. And the pros to that is, you don't need to worry about your handwriting. You don't need to buy many supplies. You can kind of just keep your same supplies and keep it going. But, I wanted to share some aspects I found about analog journaling and what I love about it. So, analog is really kind of the opposite of digital. So, analog, you are using pen and paper, and that's just such a awesome feeling. So, there's definitely a tactile feeling to it. It feels really nice to just put pen to paper. It is a very meditative experience, especially since I've started to use fountain pens. Yeah, I don't have to push down as hard on the pen, and that's one of the main reasons people like to use fountain pens. You don't have to push the tip of the pen, or so-called nib, on the paper as hard as you would for a ballpoint or even a gel pen. A rollerball might be comparable, so yeah, find yourself a comfortable pen. So that's habit tip number one. I would say find a comfortable, and you can use any type of pen, any cost. Really, the best pen is probably the one that's just most accessible to you. Similar to like best camera, the best camera might just be your camera phone, because that's what's available, and then that allows you to actually participate in the experience. So find a comfortable pen, and it can be any pen, anywhere, whatever you personally like, and find a notebook. The pro of having a notebook rather than different pieces of paper is that you can see the catalog of ideas and you can see it evolve. So, what I recommend, if you do get a notebook, try to get one that lays flat, um, because that allows you to write more comfortably on this side of the page. Usually, if it, it's kind of like this, you kind of have to like clip it down, things like that. So that's something to keep in mind. Find a notebook that lays flat and find a comfortable one and keep it by your desk or someplace that you will see it. Some people like to journal right before bedtime, so maybe you can keep it by your bed, someplace you can see it, and place it where you can see it. Every day. And you don't need to write every day. That's definitely not possible for a lot of people. I think once a week is a great sweet spot because, on Sunday evenings, you can reset, review the week, and then kind of think about the week going forward, or even on a monthly basis. Monthly is a great time to assess your goals, things that happened, most memorable, things that you're grateful for, how have you changed in the past month. So don't pressure yourself to write too often. You kind of pick it up when you have a lot of thoughts going on. And don't be afraid of mistakes. So that has been a big hurdle for me, perfectionism, because once again, I was used to digital journaling. Every time you type, the font is the same and it looks perfect. If I don't like something, I backspace. So I never get to see any mistakes in a lot of ways. But something that I've learned from analog journaling that I could not get from digital journaling, because digital, you have the backspace, let go of perfectionism. I get to see my mistakes. I get to have my notebook be a true reflection of my thought process, the blank spaces in between as a true representation of what I'm going through. If I'm really busy, of course, I'm not going to be, writing every day. If I'm going through something really happy, sometimes I don't always take the time to sit and write. I usually write when I'm feeling more low, things like that. So let go of perfectionism. Don't compare to how other planner spreads look on social media. Don't compare stickers, the pens people are using, what papers. I mean, really just don't compare handwriting, looks of journaling, tools. I mean, it really comes down to what the process is giving to you. I think that's really important. So, all right. And blank space is okay. It tells a story. For example, if I don't write for a while, I might go back and wonder, oh, why haven't I written for a while? What was going on in my life? That itself is an entry. So don't have to push yourself too much. It should really be very meditative or zen, if you will, because journaling offers you the opportunity to see your thoughts, emotions, perspective change. And in that process, you can see yourself change. So, and in that process, you can see yourself change. So you're not always clinging on to oh, I thought this way, I have to do something this way. You can really explore, float around in your mind and see what comes out and see how it changes. And it shows you that things don't stay the same, which is really important because, as humans, we don't really love change. We like to stay static. Change is very scary. Times of transitions are very scary. But if you're able to see your own writing change, it's because it offers a snapshot. What I write today is a snapshot of my mind. The next day is a snapshot of my mind. And then one day you would read back and be like, oh, I can't believe I used to think that way. Oh, wow. It gives you a little bit more compassion to your younger self. It gives you a little bit of just more insight into yourself, and into the world, and just maybe even other people. So it gives you just a different quality of that. So meditation. For those who can't meditate by just sitting there breathing, this is an awesome way to meditate. Writing your thoughts down. You can write down your thoughts. If you have a spiritual tradition, you can write down your prayer. You can just kind of write it down and see how you feel about it. And no judgment. It's just kind of watching your thoughts come and go. And it offers you that insight of pulling yourself out of your brain. So you're kind of watching it almost like a TV, or you're like the director of a movie in a way. You're just kind of pulling it out and giving yourself some space to process. Yourself space to process. And not even just process, just to watch your thoughts or watch your emotions come and go like clouds. So that's kind of interesting, just to see what thoughts are coming through and going past, and then bringing that quality to your day-to-day, So this is why I've really loved journaling in an analog way. It's slow. It is much slow writing, because there is just no way my hands can write as fast as I can think a thought. I can think many, many thoughts in a millisecond. I talk faster than I can write, but because it's slower, it actually helps me pause. So that's something I never quite got from digital writing or typing. So digital writing, typing, I go very quickly. I can type very quickly. So it's always like a catch up. Like I think something, I write it, I edit. I always try to make it, a certain type of perspective, but it helps me pause and reflect deeper. So it's less superficial. So not everything has to be superficial, like what you do that day. Not everything has to be deep, right? It just depends on what's going on. But sometimes it does help to slow down. If you're going through something that's a little bit more challenging, it gives you that space for the thought to come, the thought to evolve even before you write it down. So that's something really cool that I like about analog journaling. And analog journaling, I have really enjoyed just the ability to let go of how it looks. So ability to let go of how life looks to others. In social media, it's always about how it looks to other people. So this is an opportunity for you to carve out some time. Your paper does not judge you. Doesn't judge. The pen doesn't judge. It just acts as a vehicle, and it allows you to fully be with one's own self without judgment. I don't really share my journal entries on Instagram. I don't share it. Even when I was typing it out digitally, I didn't share it, but this is a sacred space between you and yourself. And it's nice to have that, and you don't have to worry about how it looks, or even how it looks to you in 20 years. Some people I know, you fill out a journal and they toss it immediately because it frees them from having to make it look beautiful or make it look archivable for 20 years down the line. You can really just toss it if it's served its purpose, because the whole point of it is to unwind some of your thoughts down. It's already finished that, so you can kind of let it go. notebooks are really lovely tools for us to process. And I just want to say it has to be enjoyable to you. And I don't mean enjoyable, if you're going through something that it has to be like, wow, journaling's so enjoyable. But it kind of alleviates, certain things, certain worries. So it has to be enjoyable. And that's one of the key ways to make journaling a habit, is to notice how you feel after journaling. Notice how you feel after journaling. Do you feel lighter? Or do you feel heavier? Sometimes that happens if you're going through something and you really dived in. Sometimes you feel happier, heavier, lighter. It really depends. But there should be a feeling of, for me, it's like a sigh, like, I am being seen for who I am from myself. And that's really nice. Not everyone sees us for exactly who we are, right? People get like a snapshot, a little bit of who you are, but to see yourself for who you are. Yourself for yourself. So that's one of the main reasons I journal. So once you are able to kind of see that, I think that is how you can start a journaling habit. I think you have to be able to notice the benefits of it before you can actually start the habit. But just try doing it for every once in a while, and then it will just come so naturally. For me, sometimes I get really deep into journaling when it's almost like I'm like talking to a friend, right? I don't ever consider talking to my friends as habits. It's just part of my life. It's like how I breathe. So that's one of the ways. Journaling is like a friend. It's befriending your own mind. It's befriending your own heart in a very compassionate way that is non-judgmental. It's with yourself and the notebook and the pen. And you can do it anytime, anywhere, as long as you have a pen and paper. That's perfect. And if you don't, that's totally okay too. Sometimes you can do it on your phone or computer, and just kind of get those thoughts down. So that's what I wanted to share about analog journaling and what I've discovered with it. I've only started to pick up analog journaling in the past 2 years, over the pandemic. Previously, mine had been entirely digital and on and off. Now it's becoming a little more consistent, and I really appreciate some of the benefits it's had on my life. So I want to share that little snippet and make sure I want to just share that joy of journaling with people. It's something a little different that you don't often see in social media because people's journals and notebooks are very private, but it offers a whole different world to yourself. So thanks everyone for watching and listening, and I'll be back soon. Thanks everyone. Bye.